Hello again YouTube and welcome to Oak Tree TV. This is the second installation of the Man Behind The Bat. This week we've gone for a bit of a different vibe. We've looked to the second team for our person to interview. We've gone from the first team vice captain in John Falkner last week, who we all know is a lover and not a fighter. And we're now looking towards a second team vice captain, who is deputising quite a lot for the second team captain this year. As we all know, he's very busy with the world of telecommunications. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce the man himself, Callum Steele. Callum, pleasure to see you.
Pleasure to be here.
So, Callum, we all know your name, Callum Steele.
Steele.
How does it feel to be second team vice captain this year?
Yeah, well, it's an honour to be selected. When I didn't put my name in the hat for the ring for the captaincy, so I'm not sure how much I'll be there, if I can commit. But second team vice captaincy, it's nice, responsibility. I like to take the responsibility on my shoulders and run with it.
Fantastic. And first question, always the first proper question. I'd like to chuck in a bit extra there. How old are you, Callum?
25 last month.
25.
Big
and,
25.
And what do you do in your main job now then, Callum?
I'm a recruitment consultant, specialise in temporary staff.
So recruitment,
Yeah.
failed to get me a job so far, haven't you?
Yeah, well, I've sent you a couple of things, I've not heard back. So, is that my fault?
Well, some say if you're not working hard enough, it's your own fault.
Some say bad candidate. That's what some say.
And can you give us 4 words to describe yourself to the viewers then, Callum?
Cool. Modest. Excellent. Cool, it's a tough one, that. Calm. I think I'm quite a calm bloke.
This wasn't meant to be the hardest question.
This one's tough. I think 4's too many. Calm.
We're sticking with 3.
We'll stick with 3, yeah. Excellent, modest and calm, that's me.
I've just gone for one of them and then Rob Beckett lookalike personally. But
That's more than one word, isn't it?
that's 3. One of the words and 3 extras.
Yes, fair enough.
Never
Good
mind
with that.
Never mind. And what about brothers and sisters? Got any brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I've got one brother, lives in London, so got a proper job and everything, unlike me. I've just about got one now.
Yeah, you call recruitment not a proper job, are you, Callum?
Well, I don't know how I'm doing it, I'm winging it, so going along nicely.
And what's your favourite cereal then, Callum?
Not a big cereal fan, to be honest with you. I normally in the morning I have 1 Weetabix, that's me. But not a big fan of cereal, it's a bit of a boring food.
What do we go for with a Weetabix? We asked this last week. It seems like Weetabix is a big thing in this cricket club. We go for milk, water.
Milk, water? Who's having water on a Weetabix?
It's a thing people do.
That's not normal. I'm having milk and 1 sugar.
Milk and 1 sugar.
Milk and 1 sugar, yeah, I'll be 1 Weetabix.
And same in your cup of tea as well, is it?
I don't drink hot drinks actually.
No?
No.
Oh, okay. And this is a really deep question, this one. Would you rather fight 100 duck-sized horses or 1 horse-sized duck?
Yeah, well, I saw this last week and I've not slept since, really, to be honest with you, thinking about it. I think I'd take one horse-sized duck. Because if you've got 100 of them, I know they're only little, but you fight one, you knock one over, you got another 99 at your legs, haven't you? I'll back myself to take the 1 horse-sized duck and have it.
Alright,
Yeah.
okay, so we've gone through your fighting there, but would you consider yourself, this is a big question last week, we led on to a lot of extra questions for Mr. John Falkner. Are you a lover or are you a fighter?
I'm not really a fighter, so I'm going to have to go lover.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, that's, I'll be honest, there's not as many questions to come off that one.
Well, that's probably lucky.
Yeah, it probably is, yeah. And how quick did you feel like you can down the pint? Is it quicker than the 15 seconds we had last week?
I don't think so. No, it wasn't a pretty sight when we were doing it on tour, so I can't imagine it would be better than 15 seconds.
No?
Probably 20, 22, I'd say.
Oh, not very quick there usually,
No.
not very quick at all. And what's your best did you know fact?
Did you know? My best did you know? Did you know cigarette lighters were invented before matches?
There we go. Now that is a good did you know fact. Whether it's true or not, who knows? But
Mike Skinner said it was.
well, I've got a bit of a did you know fact about yourself here, Callum. And my did you know fact is you had an accident when you were a bit younger, and apparently you had a bit of problems in the trouser region. Can you confirm this?
Well, I can't confirm nor deny it.
Falling off a moped, I've heard.
Yeah, well, that's where your story falls out because I wouldn't have got on a moped. I'm afraid.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
So are we denied this, are we, Callum?
That's fake news.
Well, we'll see if we can get a bit of a better answer out of you later on, I think. So we've got to know you a bit. We've heard about your moped accident, which may or may not be true.
Yeah.
We've heard a bit about your fighting characteristics and how you'd rather go for 1 horse-sized duck.
True.
We know that you dabble in recruitment, much like Mr. Faulkner dabbles in insurance himself.
Dabbles in posting letters.
That is what we've
That's what
heard.
we've heard, yeah.
We won't go too into that. He's not here to defend himself,
No,
as
true.
Jeremy Carl would say. So we'll move on to your sporting life.
Yeah.
And how many years have you been at Wolverhampton Cricket Club?
I think I've been there 7 years, 7, 8 years.
7 or 8 years?
Quite a while, yeah. I made the move from Witching.
Okay, so how many years have you been playing cricket then? You mentioned you've been at Witching.
Since I was... so I watched the 2005 Ashes, and I started playing a bit after that. But so probably about 10 years. I think I did three or 4 years at Witching.
Right.
And I had then made the move.
Okay, and I think most people know the answer to this already, but would you consider yourself a batsman, a bowler, or the specialist fielder of the team?
Well, I used to think I was a bowler who batted a bit, but I fear that's not the case anymore. I think I'm a specialist batsman who bowls a little bit.
We can confirm this, YouTube. This is the case.
Unfortunately, I've not put on the other pace. I've only lost a yard
Okay.
and a half. And another half.
And the rest.
Yeah.
So, what's your favourite moment in all of sport then, Callum?
Well, it's a difficult one because we've had a few big wins in the Kirtland Cup. There's been quite a couple of close ones. Been big, nice moments as a team, but then also I scored 130 last year, which was a nice moment for myself, but quite a routine win. So I'd say one of the cup wins is probably the better ones. Maybe actually a different one. The Junior Cup a couple of years ago, and me and Ryan Newton stuck it out at the end in the pouring rain.
Was it a hell of a match that?
Yeah, got it over the line just about. That was a nice win.
Who was that against, Callum? Just a shout out to another cricket club.
I think it was against Milburn.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
third team specialist was playing. Don't want to go into that.
No, of course not. And to building off that, I think we probably already know, but what was your favourite moment playing for Wolverhampton? Is it going to be the same?
Yeah, I think it'd be the same. Yeah.
Is that high up?
That's
Favourite moment in normal sport and playing for Wolverhampton is the same thing?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so, yeah.
That's nice to hear.
The rest of my sporting ability isn't quite up to scratch.
That's some proper team pride for you there. That really is. And we're going to go to something there. I think this is going to lead into a few questions. Who's your football team then, Callum?
Liverpool.
Liverpool. And have they done anything of note in the last year? 10 years, in fact? 20 years?
Well, I mean, won the Champions League a few years ago.
Can anyone remember that? I don't think they can. Lost it a couple of times. When was the most recent time they lost it, they can?
About Saturday, I think.
About Saturday, was it?
Saturday,
Yeah. And how did you feel after that? Were there a few tears or?
No, it was. I was saying this the other day. I didn't really feel anything. I saw a Carriers just throw the ball at someone else's foot, and I just thought, well, that's Carriers, isn't it? What else can you say?
Rumours are you'd had 8 Stellas during the second half. Is that right?
I had quite a few. I wasn't just in the second half. I had a couple of pints at dinner, and then we went to a pub and we couldn't get in, so I went back to the hotel and watched it on an iPad because we couldn't get it on the telly. But I did have 8 Stellas. Yeah, that's true. But that was probably 4 in the second half, and then the rest from there on.
And were the other people you were in a hotel? Weren't you?
Yeah, I was in a hotel.
Were the other people in your hotel room, were they alright, or did you get angry towards them? Or
No, it was fine. It was quite mellow.
Yeah.
I thought,
Were they just as drunk, or?
Not really, no, to be honest. You weren't really drinking that much.
So you had a good night then?
Yeah, it was a bit of a solo effort.
Yeah?
A bit of a solo effort. I think I kept...
Is that just the drinking we're talking about, or?
On the drinking side,
Okay,
yeah.
good.
I think I kept claiming that I was going to be Andrew Robertson's PA at one point.
Oh, nice. We've all said things when we drink, mate.
Yeah, don't regret it.
No.
Andrew Robertson, if you're out there, I am available.
There we go. He's good at recruitment, so probably good at PA as well. And what's your best sporting achievement then, Cam?
My best sporting achievement? I think so. I have to do the 130 against Needham with last year.
Good innings. I was there to witness it YouTube. It were a good win as well.
It's just about running between the wickets, which surprisingly was something I was good at.
Consider yourself quick between the wickets, do you?
No, just...
You're quick between the wickets when you're running, or when you're blowing that ball down as a bowler?
Probably quicker running.
Quicker running?
I'd imagine so.
Probably for the best, so probably going backwards. And who's your sporting idol then, Callum?
Well, I mean, a big shout out to Andrew Robertson earlier, but probably not Robertson. Stephen Gerrard, I guess, when I was growing up, came through the Liverpool team as I started supporting him. So I guess I've got to say Stevie.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a big man.
Why do you consider that then? Is it his lovely Scouse accent? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think it's a lovely accent, lovely tone to the voice, very calming.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair enough. So we'll move away from general sport. We'll move into your teammates, the section that everyone loves to watch.
Yeah.
Everyone's dying to hear your answers to these questions.
Right.
And we start with one of the main ones.
Yeah.
And this could happen to you at some point this year. It happened just last week on the second team. And the question is, you can only pick one of these players for your team. Who are you picking? Is it Colin Sizer or is it Ewan Sizer?
Well, they've both got different qualities. Colin is a bit of a flat track bully, you might say. You know, if the ball's there to be hit and it's not, travelling less than 35 mile an hour, Colin will hit that to the boundary, which fair enough, he puts it away. But Ewan offers you that different dynamic, better in the field. Colin can only field a gully. Colin might not go off straight away, so I'd probably go Ewan, just in the fact that better in the field, an option with the ball, and he'll hang around at the end with you.
Building from that, we had the pleasure of Ewan at training tonight, and what did you think to his bowling action at training? You think he's looking like he could really progress through the teams?
Yeah, he needs a bit of work. He's getting there. Just actually needs to be a bit more fluid, and I think he'll be alright.
That's good. So building off that as well, I'd like to build on things here at Oak Tree TV. And who do you consider to be the best bowler at the club?
Probably when he's fully fit, Conor Logan, I'd say. Left
Okay.
arm, something different, swings the ball.
What do you think to his most recent injury? Do you think that's a real thing, or do you think
Well, I've heard of a double quad injury before, but not sure that should be happening at senior 3 level. You've got to be stretching, you've got to be warming up.
There we go. Conor Logan, you need to warm up more, mate. And from that, who do you think is the best batsman at the club then?
At the club?
At the club.
I've heard a lot about Scott Connor. Hit a couple of nice runs apparently in the first thing, but I've never seen him in a game situation, so probably can't comment. Tom, I've watched Tom quite a lot. Decent batsman, not in the best of the nick at the minute, but he's getting there. Had a net the other night, heard he was quite good. So say you've got to go with probably the informed player. I'd probably say Scott, just on the rumours.
Okay.
Hopefully it's rumours.
Well, let's hope. And who's the most intelligent person in the club? Not cricketing wise, just the most intelligent.
Well, I have heard you're overeducated, so probably not yourself. Probably go the Bet.2, Will Padmore, as the most intelligent.
And why are we saying better Padmore exactly?
Better all round cricketer, bloke, intelligence,
What?
looks, just a better Padmore.
There we go then, YouTube. I think he's probably got vodka in that pint glass. So from that, who's the best cricket brain in the club?
Cricket brain, to be fair to him, actually, Chippy's quite intelligent with his fielding. He came up with the wall, him and Donald Trump, on the same sort of lines when building the wall. Unfortunately, he didn't ask anyone to pay for it in particular, which is always good. But he comes up with a couple of good ideas. He's quite good when giving you a few little tips here and there. It was helping old Ewan today with his action, and it looked like it was improving him. But then also probably yourself actually, Scott, quite intelligent with, like you say, with metrics and stuff like that. Getting your arm straight and all this. He's quite helpful. So we said between you and Chip.
Appreciate that. That's more like it. So last few questions, and I think we all know the answer to this question after last week. So who's the biggest drinker at the club?
Bez has
We hear that a lot.
has put a lot away. You'd heard.
Yeah.
John likes to claim he's a big drinker, but he's a slow drinker. He'll get you. He will get you in the end of the night, but he won't stay with you. You have to push him to that bar.
Yeah, I tried. I failed.
Yeah.
Okay, last 2 questions. Big questions. This is the question that everyone wants to know about. Okay. What number should your captain, Richard Padmore, be batting at for the second 11?
I genuinely think 11 is one place too high.
And why do you think that then, Callum? I've got to ask.
We had a partnership once, a long while ago, Scoop, where I think it was a 70-run partnership, and you hit 7. Or was it 2? Or 2 apparently.
And that is why I'm such a good batsman there, YouTube. I can build a partnership without aiming to hit runs myself. But anyway.
But yeah, that's why. You can't let the ball off the square, you don't run well between the wickets.
I still think there's vodka in that pint glass there, YouTube. Anyway, last question. And you know what's coming. I hadn't prepared an answer for this. We saw it last week with Mr. Faulkner. He gave a nice long answer about it. And this question is, would you dare to wink at Ben Ship, brother?
You've got to look at the positives and negatives of it. Would I wink it in? I don't know, because we all saw what happened to the poor bloke on tour. He's come off second best and that when he winked in, and I probably wouldn't wink him. I'd be too scared.
Well, there we go, YouTube. You heard it here first. The first person to say they would not wink at Ben Chip because he's too scared. We know he's got a brother up in London with a better job than himself. We know he's 25. We know he prefers a horse-sized duck over 100 duck-sized horses. He's a Liverpool fan who loves 8 Stellas during a game, potentially an alcoholic, especially with some of the answers he's given towards the end of this interview tonight. And we also potentially have heard about his moped accident when he was younger and had a bit of a problem in the trouser area, which he's still not quite happy to admit. And there we go. That is the Man Behind the Bat with Callum Steele. Thank you very much, Callum.
It's a pleasure.